You've got questions?
We've got answers.
Tune in Tuesdays at 12 on Facebook Live and Instagram Live, where we will be hosting a variety of community experts that will answer your questions.
Hi, this is Annette. Join us on Tuesday when we talk about self-esteem during the holidays. It should be a very interesting conversation.
See you then. All right. Anyway, I see it saying that we are live, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. All right.
We are.
We are awesome. Hi, everyone. It's Jillian and Michelle and Annette. And welcome to Tip Tuesday. And we are so happy to have our amazing return guest, Miss Annette Tello. And Annette is a counselor cancer survivor specialist. She is a life coach, an author, has had her own journey with cervical cancer. She specializes in helping survivors and fighters move forward in their lives with her signature programming called Thriving After Surviving. And today, Annette is going to be chatting with us about the holidays and self-esteem. And, for fighters and survivors, I think that the holidays can be very tricky to navigate. So we really can't wait to hear what Annette has to say, and always gives us her absolutely amazing advice. So please jump in, ask your questions. This will live on our social page, so you can always ask questions later if you don't see it right away live. But before we start with Annette, Michelle, do we have any housekeeping?
Jill, actually, we really don't, but I did want to share with everybody our website page, which is up on the screen right now. And to the left, when you navigate down, you'll see resources and conversations. And right there, you'll see all of our guests, including Annette. And right on that page, you'll have more information about her, and then also her calendar for a complimentary 45-minute consultation if you have anything private that you want to discuss with her that you might not necessarily want to leave on our Q&A page. And also, bonus, all her book link is there, and then all of the past episodes that we've had on that are now on YouTube are there, as well as the SoundCloud if you just want to listen to it. So our resources and conversations is a great page to check out on our website.
That's amazing. Thank you, Annette, really, seriously.
Yeah.
So, all right, Michelle, are we ready?
We are ready. Let's do it. Let's ask her.
Let's ask Annette. Okay, here we go. You ready, Annette? We're going to dive right in because we want to squeeze every little bit of information out of you. So, okay, I have a lot of notes, as I always do. I think the holidays, while very festive, can also be a time of feeling not enough. And as survivors, we can be bogged down in medical bills because that goes on for years, still trying to get on our feet. A lot of us aren't working, so how do we take on the feeling of, I wish I could do more or give more while you're still trying to figure out what's going on with yourself?
Okay, so I just, an overview, we're talking about self-esteem today. So I just want to define self-esteem, and that is the confidence in one's own worth and ability. So having confidence in yourself, confidence in your ability to navigate this world. And so in relationship to that, during the holiday seasons, we're bombarded with images of extravagant gifts. Like the commercials where on Christmas morning, you go out in the driveway, you have a new Lexus, and it's it's in front of this beautiful house. So these images tend to make us question our own worth, our own success, and our own generosity. And so these can trigger feelings that we're not good enough, and that lowers our self-esteem. So one aspect of a healthy self-esteem is the ability to set realistic expectations. So, you don't want to go into debt over the holidays and buy more than you can afford because you're not conscious about what is realistic in your expectations. So the first thing you want to do is look at the reason why you want to be generous to people. Like, for example, like say you want to give your neighbor a really nice gift, ask yourself, why do I want to give them a nice gift? Do I want them to like me? Is it because I'm a people pleaser, or because they're really great neighbors and they watered your plants when you were out of town? So, first of all, define the reason for you giving or wanting to give more. And then the second thing to consider is focus on gifts that have meaning instead of buying gifts that are expensive, because especially now during COVID, there's a lot of people who are unemployed. And like in our family, two of our family members lost their jobs due to COVID. And so we have to be really conscious of the fact that, not only like are people who have cancer and have medical bills, there are people who are really just struggling to pay the rent and put food on the table. So in this year, I think we have to be conscious of other people in our family that are struggling, and make it as easy as possible for them. So instead of focusing on giving a gift like this year, because of our family members that are struggling financially, this year we're focusing on having fun, and the theme will be, we're doing like a white elephant gift, which
I
is,
love that. Yeah.
you know how they do in offices, you just bring one gift and then you get a number and you get a gift at random, and it's a game and you could steal and it's fun. And that's what we're doing Christmas this year, because I don't think it's fair for people who are struggling to have to, it lowers your self-esteem when you're struggling financially, and then you feel you have to buy gifts for 15 people, and you just don't have the budget.
I love that. And I love what you said, about the Lexus commercial and things like that, because, you're like, I'm probably going to get a macaroni necklace. I don't think I'm getting a Lexus this year. And that macaroni necklace should be just as valuable because somebody made it with love,
It did. Well, I want to share, if we have time, I want to share a story that happened to me about gift giving, a lesson I learned when I was a teenager. And I was having my graduation party from high school, and my mom invited my first grade teacher. Her name was Mrs. Dresser, and we loved her. She was a great teacher. And during the opening of gifts, she gave me, I opened the gift, and it was like a wooden candlestick holder. And so as a teenager, I looked at this and I thought, oh my God, what a stupid gift. Like as a teenager, what do I need a candlestick holder for? And I'm looking at the gift, and she says to me, she goes, I gave you this candlestick because I want you to realize, that you are a light in this world, and that I believe in you. And I want you, every time you look at this candlestick with a candle burning in it, that you're a bright light. And I want you to remember that every time you look at it.
That's beautiful.
And so that taught me a lesson on gift giving, and how the meaning is more important than an extravagant gift. Because honestly, I received other gifts that day. I can't tell you what they were. The only gift I remember was that one, and I still have it to this day because it was so meaningful. So I want people to think about that, and it's not about giving the big expensive gift, but really give them something that symbolizes your love for them and how you feel about that person.
Great story, especially that you remember that from being a teenager. So, that kind of leads me down this next path and this next question, because, with social, right, there is a want, and it's a beautiful want. It's a want to share, and that's awesome. So as someone who's struggling, during the holidays, how do you not go down that rabbit hole of, well, I don't have that, or I don't have that partner by the tree, or wow, look how normal and exciting their life is. They're making gingerbread houses. They're doing this. I'm just struggling to be by myself and keep it together. I wish I had a more festive house, but I don't have somebody to put the lights on. How do you not go down how can you enjoy the social aspect without going down that rabbit hole?
How do you not compare yourself to others?
Yeah,
right?
especially survivors.
That's a great question. And another factor in a healthy self-esteem is the ability to not compare yourself to others. So people with high self-esteem don't do that. And so Buddha said, comparison is the stealer of joy.
Oh, I love that.
Comparison is the stealer of joy. And it is so true. As long as you're comparing yourself with others, you're never going to be happy, because someone is always going to have a nicer house than you, a nicer car, a more expensive clothing. Maybe they have a higher salary. So as long as you're doing that, you're never going to be happy.
Right.
And so think about the remedy for this is to focus on what you have, not what other people have, and focus on your own blessings and being grateful for what you have. Mm-hmm. That's what the remedy is to the comparison. And it's important to have a perspective. So when you're seeing things on social media, you're seeing things that are edited, and you're seeing things that they want you to see, and you don't really have the whole picture, and you don't really know what's going on behind the scene. Okay, so if you see this extravagant, Christmas decorations, you may not realize that this person is going into debt to buy all this stuff so they can take pictures and brag, like, look at my extravagant Christmas with all these presents. And it's very easy to deceive people. And for example, my room is edited to look clean and neat and orderly. But in reality, on this side of the room, it's a hot mess.
Yeah.
Everything
Annette,
on the floor.
I'm not even wearing pants. Let me just be honest. I've got on socks and no pants.
Right.
No one wants to know what's going on around
I'm
here.
wearing ratty sweatpants. This side of the room is a hot mess, but you can't see it. So it looks like, I'm organized.
Right.
I'm, decluttered. So I'm projecting an image that I want people to see. But in reality, this room is a mess. Okay. So it's very easy to deceive people, and just have perspective on that when you're seeing these images, and not be jealous, because it's not reality.
Okay. I love that. I love that. And, as fighters and survivors, it's a natural thing, to want to compare. You can't help it. It's like
Right.
having no hair and seeing somebody with gorgeous, thick, luscious hair, you just.
Right.
I love that. So now let me really put focus on the individual. And I want to talk about, this could be anybody. I mean, we focus on breast cancer survivors and fighters, but this is anyone that's gone, I think, any kind of cancer, any trauma, really. How do you deal with friends and family that think, wow, your cancer or your trauma is over, so you must be great, come join in our festivities. You're a survivor 2-3 years now. And in the meantime, you're freaking out just trying to find clothes that fit you, by the way, because after treatment, we all gain weight. That's like, people think we get so skinny, but we can gain up
Right.
to, 25 to 100 pounds.
Right.
Your hair might be just growing in and it's wacky curls, and you don't feel comfortable. Or maybe you're dealing with terrible anxiety, because that's a common thread for all of us, is terrible anxiety that leads to massive panic attacks. So we're not ready to mingle, but family and friends don't see that. And, I know there's some truth to come out, you'll feel better, but that pressure makes us feel worse in a lot of ways. So how do you deal with friends and family, is what I'm trying to say, that puts a little pressure on you, especially at the holidays, to come out and enjoy?
Well, the important factor in this situation is to just have clear communication with your family, because they don't know how you're feeling unless you tell them. And when you're not feeling well, and especially when you're recovering from cancer, you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. Some days you feel great, and other days you don't want to get out of bed. So it's important that you communicate with your family, like tell them, on Christmas Day, I would like to join you. However, it really depends on how I feel that day. And if I'm feeling good, I will be there. But if I don't feel good, please understand that I won't be able to come. So if you let them know ahead of time, that reduces all the drama around you not showing up, last minute. And you communicate clearly that this is, what's going on with you, so they understand. So communication is the key to that. And also, people with high self-esteem treat themselves with compassion and kindness. So part of that is to treat yourself with compassion and not force yourself to do things that you don't feel up to. And it's really about honoring yourself, honoring your body, and being good to yourself during the holidays, and not forcing yourself to participate in things that you really don't want to be part of.
I think it is interesting, because it might feel, frivolous to others, but to someone who's 2 years out, or 3 years, or 4 years, whatever it might be, out of that cancer road, which takes a year at least, at minimum, to go through, we are not necessarily, it's hard to say. You might not think it's a big deal because maybe my hair is being annoying or whatever it is, but it's a big deal to me. So I love that you're saying just be honest, because you know what? It is what it is. I'm making this up. I'm sorry. I don't feel comfortable. Nothing fits me right now. And it's giving me anxiety. I'd rather stay in and watch a movie. I love you. Thank you. Don't pressure me. It's basically what. Not frivolous, right? It's not frivolous.
And if you tell them ahead of time, they understand, and there won't be any more drama, because it's like, oh, she already told us that this might happen, and we're prepared for it. And also around the anxiety, studies show that people that have low self-esteem have higher tendencies to be depressed and have higher tendencies to have anxiety. So if you're experiencing that, especially around the holidays, please seek professional help, because this is something that's very treatable. So don't suffer over something that's very treatable. And this is normal with people who suffer, with low self-esteem.
And I love that you said that, because I also think there's a little bit of a stigma with you have low self-esteem. People are embarrassed of it. But when your body's been shredded, your mind's been shredded, your physicality, all of it, your social aspect, your emotional, I think, 90% of men and women that come out of cancer, especially I find with the more attacking feminine cancers like breast and
Yeah.
cervical, that of course, there's going to be a period of low self-esteem. It's not a bad thing. It's not as, I feel like we're like a lot of times we're ashamed of it.
No, that's true. And the thing is that it really strips away everything that you thought was important also. And it strips away your own image and your own physicality. So you have to figure out, well, going forward, what does this mean to me? How important is it in my life? And then, and it helps to work with someone. You can work with someone like me or work with a therapist, because it's not easy. It's not
No.
easy to do.
It's not.
Your images is taken away. Now you have to recreate yourself.
Yes, and
It's
that's
a process.
it's
It's a
work.
process. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
And we always say, Michelle and I, from at Beautiful Self, we understand that you're dealing with the demons of self-image anyway, and cancer just makes that like 1,000-fold. Well, that leads me to my next question.
Uh-huh.
And I hate the word jealousy. I think it's a word that people really kind of throw around, and I think it implies a person is wishing that that other person didn't have something. To me, that's what jealousy stands for, or that you're not a good person because you're having a jealous feeling. Like there's all these words around it. So what is a better way that someone can self-talk, because I believe in self-talk, to themselves, or even express that feeling of want, that they want to have this, or they want to feel this way, or they want to feel that way, without friends or good feeling, people who they don't mean it, but they're like, oh, don't be jealous, just be grateful, you survived, and you're sorry, and you want to say, I'm not jealous. Jealousy to me is, I don't want you to have it. It's me trying to express what I'm longing for.
Okay. So there's two parts to that question. And the first part is, jealousy is the fear of losing something or someone. So jealousy is like, you're jealous that your boyfriend is talking to the new neighbor because she's cute. That's jealousy. But the word, when people, you're saying jealousy in this, you're really implying envy. Envy is wishing that you had something that someone else didn't have. So people think they're implying that you're being envious. So, people with low self-esteem tend to have higher feelings of envy. And the remedy to that is working on your own self-esteem, being introspective and asking yourself, like, am I jealous, or am I feeling envious because, my neighbor got this for Christmas and I didn't get that? Or, I should have gotten nicer gifts. And so the only way you can handle that is to ask yourself, where in my life do I feel that I'm lacking? Why do I feel that I'm not enough, or I'm not receiving enough? And you can consciously work on that. Like if you're lacking self-confidence, you can take a class on building your self-confidence. So whatever it is that you feel like the core issue is underneath the low self-esteem and being envious, the more you understand, the easier it is for you to identify it and work on it. Because if you're feeling this constantly, you're not going to be happy. And so working on this, it really pays off in happiness, because afterwards, self-confident people are not envious, and that's a nice way to live,
Right. Oh,
Right.
Absolutely.
It's a
And
nice way. Yeah.
I just want to really reiterate too that these are normal feelings to have
Definitely.
after cancer. And I
Definitely.
like, it's not like a bad, like, oh, it's okay to be envious or to have low self-esteem, or these are all normal after cancer feelings, right?
Definitely. And also to the second part of the question is,
Sorry.
about expressing your feelings.
Mhm.
And so during the holidays, of course, we want to give and we want to make other people happy. And sometimes that we worry if we're not, we worry that if we focus on our own needs, we're being selfish. And so I want people to know that that's not selfish to express your needs. And in fact, another factor of a healthy self-esteem is the ability to express your needs. And so when you're being honest and communicating that with the person, your loved ones, it also allows them to communicate with you what their needs are too. So it's a win-win situation. And so healthy self-esteem allows us to have a conversation where we can express this. And sometimes the conversation, it can be uncomfortable or difficult when you're expressing your needs. But at the end, the other side of that is it's going to lead to clarity, and that will make everybody's holiday more enjoyable because everybody's clear on what the needs are for everyone. And so I in my own family, I had to have this uncomfortable conversation regarding the holiday celebrations because they're at my house, and I changed the parameters of the celebration because of COVID. And so I let everybody know we're going to host it outside. Of course, I live in California, so we could do this. I know it's not an option for you guys. We can have it outside during the day, so it's sunny. And I said, and I, talked about the white elephant gift instead of everybody bringing gifts for everyone, in order to be conscious of those people who are struggling financially. And pretty much everybody in the family was on board except for one person. And so I had to have this difficult conversation that they weren't happy about this. But the bottom line is that I wanted to make it comfortable for the needs of everyone, not just the needs of one person who wanted it to be different. And so, sometimes it can lead to squabbles and disagreements, but I'm glad that that's already done. And so on Christmas, the people that know what to be expected, and everybody agrees that this is what they want to do. So it's going to lead to a more enjoyable day.
I have a question, Annette. I have a question. So it is the holidays, and it is family gathering time, and it is COVID. How do you express to your family that you want to gather, but you want to wear a mask and you want to be socially distant? You don't want to have to bring up because I'm immune compromised or because of this. They should already know this. They should already know what you've been through and where you've been. So how do you bridge that gap quickly so it's not such a focus of, oh, it's the holidays and so wants to be here because of this? And how do you deflect that and just be as matter of fact as possible with a dose of kindness?
That's a tough question because wearing a mask is a political issue now. So I think if that wasn't an issue, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It would be like a no-brainer, So if some people believe, politically that, it's not a virus, it's no big deal, and people are making a big deal out of nothing, that you can't reason with that. Honestly, you can't change their mind. So the only thing you can do is just communicate clearly during the invites that, we're going to get together, but, please, everybody who's attending is required to wear a mask. And if you don't want to wear a mask, please call me, because, you will not be allowed in. Just making it really clear, call me, we can discuss it, but, you will not be allowed into the party because there's people who have compromised immune systems, or the people may be exposed and not even have any symptoms,
And if you're going somewhere and you know that you're going to be wearing a mask, at least, should you do a precursor and say, I will definitely be there, but I'm going to be wearing a mask? Or do you not even mention it?
I because of the way things are, they're so strange. I would just say I'm wearing a mask just to be comfortable. And, if people came to my house and say, I feel more comfortable with a mask, I would say, go for it. I wouldn't, it's my home. I'm not going to wear a mask, but if people are coming into my home, don't feel comfortable, I would encourage them to, because the bottom line is you want people to be comfortable in your home or wherever you're going into another person's home. And if they give you a hard time, if they're going to give you a hard time for that, maybe you should reconsider not going, because you don't want to be uncomfortable,
That's cool.
Because your health is more important than that one day festivities.
You know what I love, Annette? You're always all about, as we kind of close up, you're all about that communication. And I love how straight you are. Like, there's no shame in any feeling you're having.
Right.
Help is here. How you feel is normal. Don't get sucked into the social vortex during the holiday, because half of it isn't real. And the other half that is real, good for them. That's wonderful. And then happy, thank you for sharing. But that's my life is my life. And I will not compare. So, as always, please, I implore those of you that are listening and might need help to please reach out to Annette. She's just unbelievable and a wealth of information, and so caring and so loving and generous. And we appreciate you so much. So once again, you're amazing. We love having you. So thank you for keep coming back more and more and more.
Always give us a little tool for our toolbox to get through.
Yes, and it's difficult. So it's nice to be conscious of these things. Well, I can do this instead, So
you're amazing. So thank you so much. And we'll see you again for sure in January. Yes. Michelle, anything else?
No, not at all. You know, we just have access to Annette anywhere on our website. All the links are here. So please leave your questions if you have any that you want to publicly share, and then maybe we can each answer each other's.
I love
Absolutely.
it. So we will see everyone next week. And as always, stay strong,
Stay strong.
stay positive.
Stay positive.
You
You
are
are
beautiful.
beautiful.
And we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.